So if you can see me and hear me, please let me know. So today is day 20. All right, so we have just one day and then we are done with this challenge. It has been an amazing time, you know, from day one till now. It has been a moment of reflection, a moment of learning, you know, a moment of reviewing and all of that. And I'm sure that you got value from the sessions. I believe that you've been learning from all that we have been teaching from day one. Okay, so if you are just joining, you will need to go and catch the replay from day one up until today, okay? Because we have learned a lot that you need, to take with you as you are launching into the new year 2024. 2024 is just like 11 days to go, and there's a whole lot we talked about our children, okay? And if you're just joining for the first time, you're meeting me for the first time, I am Boma Obufuribo, a positive parent coach and author, and the founder of the Positive Parenting Academy. It's an online academy that helps parents like you to overcome the challenges that come with parenting. Okay, with caregivers, anyone that takes care of children, basically. All right. So, what does the academy offer? We have our online programs. We have the Positive Parent Circle. Okay, it's a community of parents where we teach, we train, we coach, we support you through this journey. So you have other parents that are on this journey with you. You learn from each other, and then you create a circle, an accountability system that helps you in the journey. Hassana, you are welcome. We also have the Skill Kids Hub, which is for children 5 to 10 years. We'll be starting in January. The onboarding starts in 2 days. If you're here to sign up for that, please do, because we're going to be teaching your children how to own their selves. We're going to be teaching them how to prepare for the world, okay? Before you send them out into the world, you need to wrap them up with layers of skills, okay? These are the things that will help them, not the clothes you bought, not the cartoons they watched, but the skills that you built. It would take, these skills would go with them wherever they go, okay? And it will help them in life. The life is not going to say, okay, your child does not know how to do this, so I'm not going to expose them to this or that. The same experience that every other child will experience is the same that your child will experience. So the question is, how will my child be able to respond? So the Skill Kids Hub is non-negotiable. It's something you should enroll your child for, because when they get to teenage years, the struggle is more. Okay, it becomes a lot difficult for you to begin to teach them these things which they should have known when they were 5 to 10 years. Okay, and of course we have courses. We have the Yell Less, Connect More. We help you to yell less. We help you to identify your triggers. We help you to identify patterns, okay, and how to get yourself together. We also have the Healing Your Inner Child. A lot of us are parenting from the place of our childhood experiences that we have not addressed, and is working at our conscious level, right? And of course, we have the Boosting Your Child's Learning Performance, okay? Everybody wants their child to do well, to be all A's, to be the best, to excel. Yes, that is every parent's dream, but it takes much more than dreaming. You need to help your children own their learning experience. You need to help them to love learning, okay? It's a skill. It doesn't come naturally, and that's what that course will help you with, okay? It's going to help you to unlock the brain potential in your child, help them to develop their own study habits and enjoy their learning experience, and of course excel, okay? That's like the last thing. We are concerned about more important things, but at the end of the day, they will still excel in math and all the subjects that you struggle with. We're going to break it down for you, giving you strategies that you can use. All right, so you want to look out for all those courses. And finally, my book. All right, so you pre-order. I'm all about skills. So in this book, I share the skills that you need to be teaching instead of beating your child and yelling. Okay, there are skills you need to be building in your children. All right, so Asana, good evening. Today is the 20th and we have just one day more. So how do you feel? How do you feel? Just type in the comment section one word. How do you feel about the challenge since we started from day one? Just one word to describe how you're feeling since this challenge started. And today is the 20th. So we have just one more day to wrap up. Okay? If you can see me and hear me, please let me know in the comment section. All right, so yes, one word to describe how you're feeling. So today we are asking, what is that one thing, okay, your child is afraid to ask? What is that one thing your child is afraid to ask you? Okay, so let us hear us in the comment section. What is that one thing? So there is something we need to understand, okay? We are usually in two states. It's either we're in the reactive or responsive state. So in the book, I wrote, there's a section, where I focused on, wow, empowered. That is a very, very powerful word, empowered. I like that. Okay, so Asana is empowered. All right, amazing. So what is that question that your child is afraid to ask? So like I was saying, there was a book I was reading, right? And it said that we are basically in our lives, in our business, in everything, we are mostly in two states or modes. We are either in the reactive or the responsive. Now, in my book, I dedicated a section, to teach parents how they can create that state of being responsive as opposed to being reactive, right? So that reactive state is the state you don't want to be in. Most times, I can be in that state as well. Today I actually was in that state. I got back not too long ago. I've had a long day, stressed out, and there was a post I put in the positive parent circle telling them, before we should pause, before we get into the house, because you've had a long day, other people have gotten the best of you. So is that your tired, worn out self that you're bringing back, and that's the leftover self you want to give to the most important people, after God in your life. And of course you wouldn't give them your best. Okay, so you pause before you get into the house to get to that state of responsiveness, which is what I'm talking about, right? So a lot of parents are actually in that reactive state. We are so concerned about the hustle and bustle of life. We are stressed about one thing or the other. And so when our children come, we are mostly in those negative emotions, like frustrated, bothered, anxious, and all of that, irritated. So when our children come, so like I am in the session I had, the panel session in the Kids Beats Fair, a parent was saying that time, like when she's getting back from work, that's the time the children want to jump on top of her, talk to her, and she's so irritated. So why am I saying this? We need to, thank you so much. we need to be mindful, okay? We need to be mindful. And as I'm saying this, I'm actually talking to myself as well. All right, we need to be mindful, okay? The signals. Wow. Bethel Omefe, glad I could join today. You are welcome. Yes, so better late than never, right? Today is the 20th and we have just one day left and the challenge will be over. Okay, it has been an amazing time. You can catch up on day 1 to 19. Okay, so a lot of us don't realize that, we are in that reactive state most of the time. We are in that reactive state, and for you to be in the responsive state, it takes a lot of, self-awareness, because if we're not self-aware, all right, okay, thank you so much. If we're not self-aware, we will just be running on autopilot, like automatic, like that's why I was talking about healing your inner child. When you go through that course, you realize that a lot of things you are doing, you're not bringing awareness to it because of the things that you have seen, and has been said in the times you were a child. Okay, so a lot of us are parenting on default. So everything you do is a product of what you have been taught and what you know. It takes a lot of self-awareness. Now, if you're constantly in that reactive mode or state, okay, it will be very difficult for your children to ask you questions or certain things. So, like I keep telling the parents in the positive parent circle, you are an environment, and the kind of environment, when we talk about the kind of environment we expose our children to, it's also you. So are you toxic, or you're a safe environment? And that is where the issue of being reactive as opposed to responsive comes into play. So a lot of children are scared. So I said the other time, I was at my daughter's school, and I also engaged the children, asking them, getting feedback when I finished teaching them about emotional intelligence. And a lot of them, said they had certain feelings, but they couldn't share because they were scared. Okay? And that is because of what we have projected as parents. All right? That is what we have projected. So Bethel, what did you come up with today's tool? Today we were supposed to find out what our children are afraid of asking us. Is there any question your child is scared or is not able to ask, and what is the reason? So a lot of reactive parents are in this table. Your children cannot approach you about certain things. You're not approachable. Okay, so I was once, I talked about being a pal parent. A pal parent, are you present? Are you available? Right? Are you what was the L again? Are you listen? Yes, do you listen? Right? So being present. Okay, when I talk about being present, it's not that you're there, you say you're where the children are, meanwhile you're on the phone, or you're distracted by something. Being present is being in the moment, being there and most times children can even sense it when you're not there. You're there, but you're not there. Are you present? Are you approachable? So that's what we're talking about. Your children being able to tell you anything without fear of judgment. Okay? All right. So you're yet to speak with them all, but I have a feedback from one. She mentioned just one question. Okay, we would like to know what that question is and why she's scared of asking that, right? So are we approachable? Our state has, projected to our children, that, oh, I can't tell mommy this thing or that thing because we criticize, we condemn, we compare. So for fear of all of these negative ways of discipline, our children will probably not be free to talk about it, or they will see your reaction. How could you do something like, coming from a place of perfection? Now, I always tell this story. I used to be that parent, okay? Perfection. I wanted nothing but the best. So any little thing, even if my child has done some things right, I still focus on that one that she hasn't done. It was a struggle, and I'm still a work in progress when it comes to that. So most times she may, try to hide some things because she knows that she will be criticized for it. So you need to understand that it's all right. So can I still be seen and heard? Okay. So I was talking about reactive and responsive, right? So you are sending signals, okay, based on the state that you are in, and that is how your child will be able to, talk to you about anything and everything, because you are the environment. And the way you create the environment, if you make it enabling, okay, they will be able to be open to you. But if it's a toxic environment where you are mostly in the reactive state, then it's going to be a struggle. So I talked about power, okay, I've talked about being present, being approachable, and listening. So that skill of listening is one thing we need to learn. So I was with the teachers, you know, when I was taking them on emotional intelligence, and I talked about listening. So a lot of us can speak, a lot of us can write, you know, a lot of us can okay, yes, I'm going to talk about, I said listen. So present, approachable, and listening. Are you a listening parent? So most of us don't have that skill of listening. I shared a lot of that in my book, okay, where I talked about listening. You need to listen to understand. A lot of us listen to respond, okay, to respond to what the person is saying and give our own point of view, but we don't listen to understand our children. So are you a listening parent? Sometimes it's not everything that requires you to, you know, make comments. Sometimes your child just wants somebody to listen to them, okay, just understand things from their own point of view. That's all they ask. They don't need your advice. Sometimes they don't need you to start, you know, giving them a lecture, you know, and all of that. They just need you to listen, okay. That's being a pal parent. So if you get a feedback, so we're waiting for Bethel. She says her daughter mentioned one question. So Bethel, please, we want to know what that question is and why, you know, because it's a feedback. It tells a lot about the kind of relationship, you know, you've established with your children. All right, it tells a lot about the relationship you have established with your children. So if they don't have any fears about asking you questions, then that is a plus for you. But you won't settle in success, okay? You need to keep on, you know, you need to keep on maintaining that standard, okay? So Busola, you are welcome. You are welcome. You are welcome. So if you join in, please let us know, what is that one question your child is afraid of asking and why? Okay, we've shared some things you may want to go back on. We talked about being a pal parent. We talked about being reactive as opposed to being responsive. We talked about you as an environment that is critical, you know, to how your children will relate with you. Okay, so if you've been following, let us see you in the comment section what you have learned while we wait for feedback from those that have joined. Hassana has joined, Bethel and Busola. Ask you and why, okay, while we wrap up. All right, so yes, let's see in the comment section. All right, so okay, Hassana says thank you. Yes, L stands for listen. All right, okay, and then Hassana says her daughter is not afraid of asking her questions. All right, that is amazing. That is amazing. Okay. All right, so if there's no other feedback, I don't know, Busola, can you hear me? Can I be seen and heard? If there's no other feedback, then I believe that we have gotten value from today's session. Tomorrow is the last day of this challenge. So tomorrow we're going to be wrapping up with the last question. Okay, we're going to be wrapping up with the last question, and then we're going to be rewarding the top 3 parents that have been engaging, you know, that have been showing up since day one, okay, that have been consistent. All right, so thank you so much for your time. I can't see any more comments in the comment section. Thank you for your time. Please, if you've not been following, go and catch day 1. The replays will be up for a while. Okay, they will be up for a while. So go and catch from day 1 up until today. All right. Okay, so good evening and good night. Go and tell us in the WhatsApp group what you learned and what you'll be doing differently. All right, bye for now.